Hello guys. Guys, do you know something? Today I met a ghost. Do you want to see the ghost? Here the ghost. See. It's actually a good ghost, good spirit in this our IPG case. Hello guys. This is our ghost. We are import from Thailand, especially for our video. Okay. What's your name, ghost? Her name is Turki and he is the one of the best ghosts in this world. Okay, can you describe about yourself?
I'm very good person.
She say whatever she is a ghost, she also a good person. Is it everyone scared at you? Why?
Because
I'm very beautiful. Huh?
I look very good.
Oh, she says she's so beautiful. I don't know. Bye guys. Ini hantu yang tak betul.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. Thank you for joining us today. In today's episode, we'll explore a topic that has fascinating human for a century. It is ghost stories. Our podcast today is titled Ghost Stories, Real Encounters, or Just Our Imagination. Ghost stories appear in every culture and around the world, from small village and large city. People often share stories about strange encounters with supernatural beings. Some people claim they have seen shadow figure walking down in empty hallways. Others says they hear footsteps in quiet house at late night. Some even describe feelings a sudden cold presence around them when no one's else in that area. This experience can feel very real and sometimes is very frightening. However, not everyone believes that ghosts are real. Many scientists and researchers believe this experience may be caused by psychological factors, environmental condition, or simply our imagination recreating. We will explore both sides of this debate. To help with this discussion, I'm joined with my friends Durga and Sukirtan. Durga is more open to the possibility that some ghost encounters might be real or at least unexplained. Meanwhile, Sukirtan prefers to approach the topics from scientists and logic. Welcome to podcast, both of you.
Thank you, Sanjit. I'm really happy to hear today. Ghost stories have always been interesting to me. Since I was young, I have heard many stories from my relatives and my friends about strange experiences. Some of these stories are so detailed and emotional that it made me wonder if there might be something we still don't fully understand about supernatural.
Welcome, Durga. Thanks for inviting me as well. I am interested in the topic too. But I usually try to find logical explanation first. Many ghost stories sound mysterious at first, but when we examine them carefully, we often discover explanations related to psychology, sound, lighting, or environmental conditions. That's great. I think we having two different perspectives will make today's discussion much more interesting. Okay guys, let's start with a simple question. Why do humans enjoy ghost stories so much? We think people would avoid scary stories, but instead many people actually enjoy listening them. Durga, what do you think about that?
I think most of the people enjoy ghost stories because they create mystery and excitement. Humans are naturally curious about things that we cannot easily explain. Ghost stories also make people think about life after the death, which is a topic that many people wonder about. For example, when families gather during holidays or late at night, sometimes some people start telling a ghost story from their childhood. Everyone become quiet and listen carefully. Even if people feel scared, they still want to know what happened next.
Yeah, that's very true. I still remember when I was younger, my cousin and I would sit together during our power outage and they tell scary stories. Even throughout we are scared, we still wanted to keep listening the stories.
I agree with both of you, but I think another major reason people enjoy ghost stories is entertainment. Many movies and TV shows present ghost stories in a dramatic ways. For example, horror movies often shows abandoned houses, strange sounds, and unexpected appearances of ghosts. These scenes are designed to make people feel suspense and excitement. When audience experience that fear in a safe environment, like watching a movie with friends, it becomes enjoyable rather than truly frightening.
Yes, and the storytelling traditions also play a big role. In many cultures, ghost stories are passed down from generation to generation. For example, grandparents sometimes tell children stories about spirits or mysterious events that supposedly happened in their past. These stories become part of their family history.
So, it seems that curiosity and entertainment and culture storytelling all contribute to popularity of those stories.
Corner. I asked it, "Who are you?" And it said it was a visitor. I said, "What do you want?" It said Dalton. I can still hear that voice.
Let's talk about personal experiences. Many people strongly believe in ghosts because they believe they experienced something supernatural themselves. Durga, have you ever heard a personal ghost story from someone close to you?
Yes, actually I have. One of my relatives once told me about a strange experience that happened late at night. They were sleeping in their house when suddenly they heard clear footsteps walking across the living room. At first, they thought someone in the family had woken up, but when they checked every room, everyone else was still asleep. They checked every part of the house but could not find anyone. The strange thing was that the footsteps sound very slow and steady, almost like someone is walking carefully across the floor. That experience really frightened them.
Wow, that sounds quite very scary. How about Sugirtan?
It definitely sounds scary, but there could be several explanations here. Sometimes, house makes unusual sounds because of temperature changes. When the weather gets colder or warmer, buildings material like wood and metal expand or contract. This can create cracking or tapping sounds. Our brains might interpret those sounds as footsteps.
Yes, the explanation makes sense, but my relatives say the footsteps sounds exactly like someone walking across the floor. It wasn't just a random noise.
That can still happen. Our brain are very good at recognizing patterns. Even if the sound is not actually footsteps, our minds might interpret it that way. This is especially common when people are alone at night and feeling nervous.
So, here we seen an interesting difference in interpretation. One person experiences something mysterious, while another person tries to explain it scientifically. Guys, I have also another common topic in ghost stories. It is haunted place. Certain locations are famous for paranormal stories, such as abandoned hospitals, old hotels, and historical buildings are often described as haunted. Durga, do you think some place might actually be haunted?
I think it's possible. There are many stories where different people visit the same location and report the similar experiences. For example, some visitors say they heard whispers or footsteps inside the empty buildings. Others say they feel sudden cold hand or see shadow moving in a dark hallways. When many people report similar experiences in the same place, it makes you wonder if something unusual is happening there.
That's a good point. Some historical buildings even attract to tourists who want to experience paranormal activity.
Yes, but there is also another explanation. Many of these places already have a reputation for being haunted. When people visit them, they expect something strange to happen. Because of this expectation, their minds may become more sensitive to normal sounds or shadows. For example, a small sound from a loose window might suddenly feel like frightening because people believe they are in a haunted place.
That's true. But sometimes people experience the thing they didn't expect. For example, some security guards working night shift in an empty building report strange events even when they were not thinking about the ghost.
That's very interesting, Durga. So sometimes expectation influence people, but sometimes strange experience happen unexpectedly. Let's talk more about scientific explanation for ghost experience. So Githan, what are some common explanations scientists give?
One well-known explanation is sleep paralysis. This happens when a person wakes up but their body cannot move for a short time. During sleep paralysis, people may see shadows or figures in the room and feel like someone is watching them. These experiences feel extremely real, which is why many people believe they saw a ghost. Another explanation is lighting conditions. In low light, our eyes cannot see clearly, so shadows can easily appear like human shapes. For example, a coat hanging on a chair might look like a person standing in the room.
I think many people have experienced that moment when they see something in the dark and later realize it was just an object.
Yes, that also happened to me before. One time I thought I saw someone standing near my window, but when I turned on the light, it was just a tree branch moving in the wind. But even though many cases have explanation like that, I still think some experiences remain mysterious.
I agree that science doesn't yet have all the answers, but the purpose of science is to investigate carefully before assuming supernatural causes.
Yeah, that's true, Sugithan.
And terrifying mansion that has become one of Malaysia's most infamous haunted locations. Originally built in the 1920s, the mansion was once home to a wealthy family, but after a series of tragic events, it was abandoned and has since become a haunting ground for restless spirits. Legend has it that the mansion's dark past began when the family who lived there was murdered under Dan.
So, another topic is culture also plays an important role in ghost beliefs. Different cultures have different ghost stories. What do you think about this topic, Durga?
Yes, in many Asian cultures, there are strong beliefs in spirit and supernatural beings. For example, some traditions say spirits may stay in a certain place if they had unfinished business in their life. Because of this belief, people may interpret strange experiences as encounter with the spirits.
Exactly. Meanwhile, people from other cultures may interpret the same experience differently. For example, if someone hears a strange sound in the house, one person might think it's a spirit, while another person might think it's simply an animal in the roof.
So, culture background strongly affect how people interact mysterious events.
Movement in here. I'm hearing. Is that a barn door? Sam, what the was that?
Speak to me. Tell me your name.
I have an interesting topic. It is ghost hunting technology. Nowadays, many paranormal investigators use devices like voice recorders, detectors, and cameras to detect supernatural activity. What do you think about that technology, Durga?
Yes, some ghost hunters claim they capture strange sound or voices that believe belong to the spirit. Sometimes this recording contains whispers that people say they didn't hear during the investigation.
But there are also scientific explanation for this. Audio devices can sometimes capture background noise or radio interference. When people listen to unclear sounds, their brain try to interpret them as words. This is called auditory pareidolia, where we hear pattern or voices even when they are not really there.
Yeah, so Gitan, it sounds true. That shows how technology can sometimes create confusion rather than clear answers. Guys, let's talk about famous ghost stories that many people know. Durga, can you share the famous story that you know?
Type of story is about people seeing figures in mirror or windows. For example, someone might be alone in a house and suddenly see a reflection behind them. When they turn around, nobody is there. Stories like these are shared widely and often become local legends.
But mirrors and reflection can easily create illusions. Lighting angles, shadows, or reflection from outside objects can produce strange images.
That sounds very interesting. So, fear also plays a big role in ghost experience. When people feel afraid, their sense become more sensitive.
Yes, when someone is walking alone at night, even a small sound like leaf move can feel frightening. Their imagination might start creating possibilities that something supernatural is happening.
Exactly. Our brains evolved to detect possible danger quickly. So, when we hear an unusual sound, our mind immediately tries to explain it. Sometimes the explanation becomes something supernatural.
Before we end our discussion, I want to ask both of you one final question. Do you personally believe ghosts exist?
I think it's possible. There are still many mysteries in the world that we cannot fully explain. While science explains many ghost stories, I believe some experiences remain unexplained.
How about you, Sugita?
I respect that opinion, but I personally believe most ghost stories can be explained through science, psychology, or environmental factors.
I got it both of point. So, today we explore many perspectives on ghost stories. Some people believe ghosts are real, supernatural beings. Others believe these experiences are caused by imagination, psychological factor, or just a natural event. Even throughout this section with Durga and Sugitan had different opinion, they also agreed on some important points, such as culture influence how we interact with ghost stories, and science help us investigate mysterious experience. Ghost stories continue to fascinate people because they explore our curiosity about the unknown. Thank you, Durga and Sugitan, for joining this discussion today. And thank you to all our listeners for joining our podcast titled Ghost Stories, Real Encounters or Just Imagination. That's all for today. Bye bye, guys.